back to the channel. This is Talks with TJ. Usually I'm on here doing news reviews and commentary. However, this series is going to be something a little different. I'm not sure what I'm going to list it as, but I am going to just share my experience because I've been weathering a storm that has now come to a all-time high, like a climax. And I wanted to share my story from the very beginning, how I'm leading up here. So today is March 31st. The court date is April 4th, just to give you, a little taste of where I'm at right now with my family. So I'm just gonna start this video back in 2023, leading up to now, March 31st, 2025. So in 2023, I broke up with my ex back in March. We went on our last Valentine's Day trip to New York and we realized that we were just not working out. A month later, which led into that March, we got into this explosive argument and I said, I don't think I can do this anymore, right? I don't think that this is just gonna work. We're just two separate people in two separate spaces, right? We couldn't get out of our lease until June 2023. So we end up having to live with each other and cohabitate until then. But that's besides the point. And that's a whole different story for a whole different day. June 2023, I moved home with my grandmother. I spent 1 year and 4 months to the date, right? Just getting myself together, breaking apart what I once knew, living on my own with my ex, trying to build myself back up emotionally, physically, and financially to be here now in my own space that I've been in for about 5 months now, right? Because tomorrow is April, so it'll make it 5 months. All was well. During that time period, my entire family comes together. We're in this group chat. Me and my little sister introduces the idea that we need to start taking family trips annually. Now, my older sister decides to take over the entire trip, right? She decides to plan the trip. She decides to handle the finances, handle the food, handle the itinerary on what everybody decides to do. My sister likes to think that she's really good with planning, she's really good with finances, and she's really good with organization. However, this is just a mess that I feel like everybody just kind of plays into in order to not discourage her or make her feel any type of way, right? So she takes it over. We were supposed to be going to Myrtle Beach that year, something super small. It was for about 4 to 5 days. So she organizes the cars to get down there. We end up driving 2 personal vehicles and renting out a minivan, right? The cost of the minivan was shady. Again, my sister's not really good with finances. She never has. And this will play a part into later on in the story. The minivan, the payments on that was shady. The way we all contribute to gas was shady. Nothing really added up. When she mapped out the house, the pictures that she was sending us was not the house that we stayed in, right? We were supposed to be going to Myrtle Beach. We ended up staying 45 minutes away from Myrtle Beach in some secluded area. The house itself, upstairs, all the older adults were there, like my grandmother, my grandmother's friend, and basically, the elderly, so they didn't have to go up and down the stairs. We, however, the younger, individuals, we stayed on the ground floor, right? There was kids, and then it was plus me and my little sister, her boyfriend, and then my parents, we opted out to stay downstairs. So the house itself, the showers were fucked up, the toilets were fucked up, the kitchen downstairs hasn't been updated since the house has been built, to be honest with you. And it looked like the way the beach house was set up was that there was a shack underneath and then they built a brand new house over top of it. So the stairs to lead to the top area where the rest of the older folks were outside. So oftentimes we got caught in the rain trying to go upstairs, right? We later on found out that the house that she had rented was from some lady who just bought it and was trying to renovate it, but she was renting it out on this app that's kind of similar to Airbnb to raise the money to do so, right? So the pool never really got cleaned. The grill was falling apart. When we tried to light the fire pit, there were black widow spiders all on the logs of the wood, right? It didn't face the beach. We were kind of like on some back river. The kayaks that came with the beach house were fucked up. The jet skis, I believe, didn't work, or they weren't even ours to begin with. However, we made best of the situation at hand. The money situation, we all got placed into another group chat about who's paying and who's not paying. Baby, the money was shady from to begin with. Everybody was kind of late on their payments. My family as a whole are not really good with finances. So that was a hot ass mess. We get down there, us trying to pay for food, a hot ass mess. She didn't organize that correctly. The house is fucked up, right? So everybody had their opinions about it. I later go downstairs and I'm tipsy. I take a nap. I come downstairs. Shit. Ooh, I didn't say her name. I have to bleep that out. I later hear my sister. So I go downstairs drunk. I take a nap. I come back upstairs. This is like day one, right? Everybody's exhausted. Mind you, we drove 8 hours down there instead of flying. I'm a bitch. I don't drive. I don't drive over 3 hours. I get exhausted. I like to fly. Anything over that, I'm taking a flight. I'm taking a plane. I'm taking a flight or I'm taking a train. You're like, I'm just not doing it. So I come back upstairs and I hear her talking shit the entire time as she's making food about the comments that I had made about the house not being to the exact, pictures that she had displayed. And also about, basically the money being funny and how we got groceries was funny and how we even chose the rooms were funny because everything was just set up really odd to where she was in control. However, nobody else, really knew what was going on. And this is just how she likes to play. She likes to give you enough information to where she's comfortable, but not completely transparent on the total price of the house. She's not completely transparent on, how we got the vehicles down there. She's not completely transparent on gas. She's just telling you, hey, this is the portion that you have to pay. So we really didn't know, honestly, we were going on. Now, at the time, we all trust her, So I guess everybody just moved on from that. But me being inquisitive, I'm going to raise questions about where my money's going, about where I'm sleeping, about the condition of the home, about the itinerary being shaky, about who's covering what child. Because every time we go on a vacation or there's an event happening, usually I'm covering my nephew and usually my sister is covering her daughter, right? And then my other sister at the time, she was with the guy, she was covering those kids. So I go upstairs, I hear her talking shit. I come downstairs, I'm pissed off. I'm standoffish. I'm like not really talking to nobody. My sister's wife at the time, which is a whole other situation that I'm going to lead into, comes downstairs and basically was just like, what's going on? At this point, I'm looking for Ubers back to the airport and a flight back to DC because one thing I don't play with is my time or my money or me being uncomfortable in any situation. Baby, I have the coin to leave, I will leave. You know what I mean? So at this point, I was ready to go. So she ended up, was saying, oh, she was just talking shit. That's just kind of what family does. And, don't make a big deal about it. She wasn't, anything directed towards you. So she comes downstairs and lies to my face and was just like, no, I'm basically upset that I have to do all the cooking and nobody else is contributing. It's not really about you. Like, I know that, that you were trying to help along the way. I knew that you did the bulk of the driving. And I said, but that's not what the fuck I heard. But I let that shit slide because it's family, right? So later on, throughout the week, there was just, there was tension starting to rise that I realized that I can't be around my family for too long. But I'm just like, okay, you know what? Everybody's tired. Everybody's drove down here. We have to drive back. We have to take care of kids. Emotions are high. We're all exhausted. That's just what the tea was. So and that's what I concluded it to be, right? Because at first, like I said before, I'm thinking, maybe we shouldn't be around each other for too often. But I'm just like, maybe in this capacity, I'm just like, oh, okay. No, it's just, those things that I explained. So we're just going to move past that situation, right? So we end up coming back up here, driving back. All is well. We kind of just leave the drama there because overall we did have a good time, despite all the shady shit that was going on. It dies down, right? October, nothing really happens. November, this is where things started to escalate again. And this is where I started to realize that my sister likes to manipulate, and I haven't fully come to the conclusion that she was a narcissist, right? So my sister cheats on her wife. This is where we find out that my sister has been habitually cheating on her wife for the last 10 years of their relationship, or last 10 years of their marriage and 13 years of their relationship. And I'm going to leave that off right here because that starts a new level of drama and really kicks off, the problems that are leading me to where I'm at now. However, tune into the next video. This has been Talks with Antoine. Peace.